is up? Piss Flaps JJ back here from Run Pure Bets with another free pick for it. This time it's going to be in college football for Friday, October the 1st. Game's going to be played between the Utah State Aggies and BYU Cougars. Current betting spread is BYU minus 9.5. Total 63.5. Nice to grab a win last Friday, rather easily. Charlotte, Middle Tennessee over the number of 55.5. Game played into the high 70s and wasn't really ever in doubt. So nice to get good calls that way. Gonna aim to follow this up with another win here. This time though I like a side, but before I do, it is October 1st, so this means all like the fall foliage junkies, right? They start coming out, the people that love their pumpkin spice and all that other bullshit. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying these folks are, borderline tree huggers. And also I know you're like looking at me. This is back-to-back videos where I did my hair, so yeah, you're welcome. I'm sure you've also noticed my forehead and the need for Botox. At my age, I should not have forehead lines that look anything like this. And I know that usually I rock the Run Pure Sports shirt, but it's the morning. I'm over here drinking my coffee, the good stuff. And yeah, check out the straw, you Earth Day folks. And you might be looking at the shirt and being like, oh, well, you got holes in it where you can't afford a shirt without holes in it. I mean, I purposely bought this shirt because it has holes in it. You can't see on the bottom it has more holes. It's called Style, invalids. All right, so let's dive right into this play. Enough of me complaining. All right, so woof. Utah State banged me pretty hard last Saturday, but I really like them catching 9.5 here. I guess borderline again. I say again, I didn't bet them last week, but I needed them to score last week, and that was a bit of an issue. A bit is an understatement. One thing about me in these videos is you should know by now that if I release them in the AM versus the night prior, it's because I'm confident the number is going to be better in the AM, versus the evening or days prior. And here we have that for sure. So, last night and days prior was 8.5. Now we're sitting at a number of 9.5. You may be able to sit on this and move towards that sort of key number of 10. But yes, I like Utah State plus 9.5 here. DraftKings New Jersey. Actually, I've looked, most marketplaces have this number right now. Quite a few things in the mix. So first of all, I take last week's Utah State's offensive performance with a pure grain of salt. This team's offense was clicking on all cylinders in the first half versus Boise, except, of course, the part where they actually score. Imagine having like 300-plus yards of offense in the first half and not scoring a single point. So Logan Bonner was extremely efficient early on, but once he got benched, he simply wasn't the same, and then they brought him back in, and again, wasn't the same. The Aggies do use two quarterbacks often, and that's been a Blake Anderson staple for a while, even when he was at Arkansas State. So Peasley's more of their dual threat, and he's going to come in this game regardless. But look, Anderson's offenses are always filled with fireworks, or offenses are always filled with fireworks. I find it hard to imagine this Utah State team won't move the ball against BYU here. Again, will they score? I mean, they should. I mean, that was such an anomaly from this team last week. Not from this team in general, but you don't see that often. I think they were inside the 10 3 times in the first half, and a total of 0 points. Either way. Regardless, I'll talk more on their offense in a bit, but BYU has to be a bit overrated, no? And I say this, I know the sample size isn't truly large enough for me to make this objective, but 13th ranked in the country, good? I don't know about that. They may wind up into the top 25 by year end. They do have some tough games coming up, but 13th, I don't know about that. I've watched this team and I don't really see that myself. Now, regardless, I do look at this, their schedule, as briefly mentioned, and every game thus far has been a one-score game at some point in the fourth quarter. Arizona might be the worst team in the Pac-12. Utah hasn't looked near as good as others thought they would at this point. Arizona State's proved nothing in my eyes with their wins, and they even heavily outgained BYU offensively in that loss. Then BYU lets a South Florida team hang around enough to score 21 of the game's final 28 points, all in the second half. So, and this BYU team, whether they start good, whether they end good, it hasn't really mattered. They're not winning by large numbers. Defensively, this BYU squad is just not as good as it's been in prior years, and their offense certainly isn't as good either. Let's not forget, Zach Wilson ran this team last season, who's now eating shit weekly on the Jets. Speaking of BYU's quarterback, this is a shaky situation at the moment. Jaron Hall may play, but who knows? Hall's an elusive dual threat with a good arm. And this BYU offense becomes far more one-dimensional when they're running it with Romney. Romney had a good game versus South Florida, but what does this really mean with South Florida's defense? And while Utah State certainly has their defensive flaws, I did like what I saw from Boise. They were very good on third down, good against the run, but ultimately at the end of the day, too much self-infliction hurt their time of possession, and of course, the final score. I often say sometimes your best defense is simply a good offense, right? A good offensive game means your defense is able to catch their breath often on the sidelines, and that matters. Utah State should be able to press this BYU defense and force their hand on offense. I don't expect this game to be a complete shootout per se, like going to the 70s. It could, and I guess while I'm here, I guess talk on the total. So if you're betting this total over, and I get it, it makes sense, right? Utah State gives up a ton of points. Utah State plays super fast. Do realize this total opened like 58.5. I think even less at some spots. Now it's 63.5. You're just getting an awful number. Not to say I can't win, but this is not how you win betting sports. So just a little food for thought. Now this game could turn into a shootout overall into the 70s. It could. I don't think it will. And if it does, Utah State's certainly content to run with this BYU squad. But BYU is a more efficient offense, so I don't think that's going to be what Utah State really wants, because I'd figure if that's the case, BYU's probably outscored them quite a bit. But I have questions about this BYU offense anyway. Did I mention it's BYU's first road game of the year? This only helps matters where I'm concerned at this number at 9.5. Overall fat number here at 9.5. With a slightly underrated team going up against a slightly overrated team on my end. Anderson should scheme up proper plays to get his guys into successful spots. May have backfired on them a bit last week, but I expect this to correct itself here. Not only has BYU not scored 35 points, not scored more than 35 points once this season, they, as mentioned, have one win by double digits. I'd argue this Utah State team is better than at least half the teams BYU's played in their own stadium. Now they travel on the road to play a hungry Utah State team off a bad loss. We're looking to right the ship. I'm not saying Utah State wins outright. They could. But getting more than a touchdown here and nearly 10 is something I have to jump at. So give me the Aggies plus 9.5, minus 110 at DraftKings in New Jersey. May the odds be ever in our favor. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Create some fake accounts more. Thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, I hope someone takes a fat shit in your mailbox. As always, drop comments below your thoughts on the vid. And let me know who you're betting for this small little college football Friday slate. You could also peek in. Let me know who you're betting for Saturday if you want. Actually, no, you should do it. Not if you want. Whether you want to or not, you should do it. We have content lined up all weekend on this channel. I'm going to be back live on Saturday, late morning, talking college football. I also already had the Print Factory with the DFS crew on Wednesday night, talking NFL through every game. That was on Run Pure Sports' YouTube channel, so check that out. I'll also be back on Sunday with Run Pure Sports again, talking NFL up to lock from 12 o'clock onward for about an hour. Look, as far as Run Pure Bets goes, we'll have live shows. UFC, NASCAR, and of course, more NFL. And I already mentioned the prior college football. Be sure to check us out at runpurebets.com, see what we're all about. Code BETS25 off, get you 25% off everything. But as always, folks, be sure to gamble responsibly, stay safe, and thanks again for watching.